Well, hey everybody, welcome to another Streaming with Strange here on this chilly snow day. Here in Strangeville, there's a extreme weather advisory out there. There's ice everywhere. I slid down my driveway this morning, which is flat, by the way, to go to the grocery store because I didn't go to the store last night like a sensible person. I waited until it was nasty out. Got that out of the way, got some laundry going. Not doing anything today. Just pretty much stuck in the house. So what better way to to toil away the afternoon hours than to work on the cover of my brand new comic book, brand new Strangeville Stonerverse comic book piece called the Wizard of Ganj. And we've already got the pencils done here, so we're going to show you. We got the wizard here in the big foreground at the bottom of the page, and we got a bong bat over here flapping around. We got a ganja gremlin jumping through the shot, and we've got Bong City. I forget what I call the city in the book. I'd have to look. I wrote the first issue a few months ago. My memory's not that great. We got bongs all over the place in the background. The Bong City back there, and of course the yellow brick, the yellow dab road that's running all through the foreground all the way back to Bong City back there, and then little tiny Nixon and Hogan there in the background. So we're gonna ink this sucker today. The entire first issue of Wizard of Ganj is completely penciled, and it shall be inked very soon. I need to do these inks in different layers here. So we're going to go ink layer 1 because I want to be able to do this effect where I kind of decrease the opacity of each layer as we go back into the background to create the effect that there's a haze and there and that those bongs are way back in the distance of the Weed World there. But the first things first is the old Weed Wizard gets the foreground treatment. So let's get him going here. Here we go. You know, as I was saying in the last stream, I prefer to do these as big, chunky graphic novels. There's several reasons for that. Chief among them is I like to hand off a story that has a complete beginning, middle, and an end because I think my endings are one of my strong points as a storyteller, and I just hate the idea of the reader getting invested in one of my stories and not following it through to the climax and the ending because those are often the most exciting parts, or those parts have payoffs to them that I allude to and build towards for the entire story. And handing off a completed graphic novel, I at least give you a fighting chance to finish my story. If you find it boring or whatever, or you lose your focus or your patience and can't finish it, that's one thing. But to hand off an incomplete story issue by issue, it's just heartbreaking to think that a lot of people are going to invest and buy into issue 1 here, and are going to drop out and lose interest by the final issue. By the time the final issue comes out, it's just as a storyteller and as a guy who really enjoys um, building up to a really crazy payoff and conclusion, that just breaks my heart. But the market This in this economy, the market is telling me the opposite. The market is demanding that I break these things up and sell them as much much cheaper one-off single issues. And as a compromise, my initial intent was to tell one-shot stories. All right, if this market is not going to support a 165-page, uh, $30+ Kevin Strange graphic novel like Space Worms, which is for sale below in the link in the description. Uh, Only 6 copies remain, and there will be no reprints in the foreseeable future. So if you haven't picked yourself up a physical copy of Space Worms, go ahead and grab that right now before you lose your chance, maybe forever. Um, the market's not going to support that, then maybe I'll just write a bunch of one shots until the market recovers, the economy recovers, or people start showing interest in the bigger books again. Until I can go do a bunch of guerrilla marketing for the next year, 2 years, and build a bigger audience to support the graphic novels. Well, problem with that is I'm not really good at writing one shots. I've got several. I got a bunch of them actually. Um, and I tried to write Wizard of Ganj as a one shot, and that just wasn't going to happen. I just felt like the I was rushing the story, and there were so many opportunities for weirder characters to be part of the story, and I wrote it as compactly as I could. I really did, and it still ended up being, all told, it's going to be around the 80 to 100 page uh, mark, and I just couldn't get it any shorter than that without feeling like it was just going to be cheap, for the type of story this is. It's a stoner version of the Wizard of Oz with Nixon and Hogan. I felt like it needed to have um, an epicness to it, and so even dropping it down to 80 to 100 pages is I could make this much longer. I could make this a 200-page graphic novel, but it's just I'm gonna have to sell that thing for $45. And in this economy, in this market, you guys just aren't buying uh, Strangeville Stoner comics in a high enough. There's not enough of you guys buying these things to justify that type of uh, that kind of an effort, because it's going to take me over a year to create a 200-page graphic novel. It would still take me a long time to do this as 80 to 100 pages if I was just doing it, just going balls out and doing it all at once, and only working on Wizard of Ganj. And so I came to the tough decision. I didn't want to do it because I like to give, I like to put stories out that have a beginning, middle, and an end. I don't like to put them out individually, issue by issue. But you guys are going to be able to buy this thing for $8. It'd be like 13 after shipping, and I feel like when I do a crowdfunder for Wizard of Ganj issue 1, I'm going to get much more participation in a crowdfunder that only costs $8 as opposed to the 30 that Space Worms cost. I just didn't get very many backers on that project, no matter how hard I pushed it. And that it is what it is. I'm not complaining about it. It's just the reality of the market and the economy and my place in that market and in that economy. Um, People are trying to keep their heat on. You know, stoner comics aren't on the Kevin Strange stoner comics aren't high on that list of priorities right now, and that's fine. And I'm doing this to adapt to that reality. And so, what I'm going to do is start off with with issue one here and go from there. And I've spent the last several months writing uh, several series, and so you're going to see 3 or 4 series from me this year, um, and into next year, and it's going to be done issue by issue, and we're going to see what people are interested in and what they pop for, and what they're willing to spend money on, and what they're not. And I will only have to put in several months worth of effort as opposed to an entire year. You know, I can't go through again what I went through with Space Worms, where I spent every single day for probably 14 months working on that comic, just slaving away on it, really putting effort into that book, and in the end, it just didn't sell enough to justify that effort. So this being one, I mean, I've been working on the actual art for about a week and a half, and we're already to the inking stage. So it's going to be about a 3 or 4 week effort to get the first issue of the Wizard of Ganj done, and I think that's another reason that I like to do the graphic novels, is because in my mind I can't separate the fact that this is only a month or two of work, and I feel like I owe you guys more effort than that, and I have to stop thinking in those terms. Like, well, I got to give them a 165-page graphic novel so that I give them the value of their hard earned money, like spending their hard earned money on me. And um, what's difficult for me to get my mind around is, when I go back and I look at these underground comics, a lot of these underground comics, a lot of these beloved underground comics, in fact, um, are 2 to 4 page comics put together, as anthologies, and these little tiny comics, 4 pagers, end up being some of the most beloved and stand the test of time for decades. Um, because of the artwork and because of what that you can just, as a fan of comics and as a fan of art, you can just look at it over and over and over again, and it's not it's not reading it one time. It doesn't have the value of reading it one time and then discarding it. People go back to these beloved comics over and over and over and over again for years. And I have to start thinking in those terms. The actual book might only take me a couple of months to work on. People are going to be looking at these images um, potentially for the rest of their lives, going back to them year after year, decade after decade. And I have to keep that. I have to keep that in mind when I make these. Just because Wizard of Ganj issue one is 20 pages, it doesn't mean it lacks that. That means it lacks value, or that it doesn't have the value of a 165-page graphic novel. It's just, it's the medium of comics serves more than just the purpose of a one-time read through. And I'm thinking of it in those terms. So, like, I want you guys to read through a 165-page story, this big, epic, long story, and that's not it's not necessarily where the most value is going to be at when it comes to art and comics. So I'm trying to look at things from that perspective, and just trying to give you guys one solid issue at a time of some classic, timeless underground comics that you can go back to over and over and over again, and then just continue to crank those out. The idea being that if issue one of Wizard of Ganj only takes me a couple of months, that's great, because then I can work on issue one of the next series and issue 1 of the next series, and then eventually onto the issue 2s. And we're going to walk it down like that. We're going to walk it down like that for the next couple of years and um, see where that takes us. See where that takes Strangeville Comics. See if you guys are, I can build a much, much larger audience with you guys um, through that method. And so we're going to crowdfund each individual issue. We'll launch the book. We'll do the crowdfunder for 30 days. We'll fulfill that issue and then go right into the next crowdfunder. And we'll just walk down every one of these series issue by issue by issue and try to build this audience. I want this audience to be in the hundreds of thousands. I don't want this audience to be in the tens. It's no good. These stories and these characters in Strangeville, it deserves better. It deserves more than a couple tens of people enjoying it. And one person enjoying it is probably more than I deserve and is a blessing. So I don't want it to sound like I'm ungrateful for what I have, because what I have is truly a blessing. But we need more of us. We need to continuously build this bigger and bigger. The ambitions of Strangeville are to get the audience big enough that we can do an animated series of this thing. So it's only to the entire audience's benefit to grow this thing bigger and bigger, because then we can move on to other even cooler mediums. Maybe not even cooler, but animation is such a complementary medium to comics, and I would love to have both. In my mind, the big master plan of Strangeville, and they always tell you don't talk about your plans, just do your plans. But I'm literally in the middle of doing my plans right now. We're working on the cover of Wizard of Ganj, and I have hundreds of pages of comics under my belt. 32,000 views on the Strangeville Comics Archive, which is our free comic book archive that showcases the back catalog of the Strangeville Stonerverse comics. And the link to that is also down below in the description. If you have not yet checked out the Strangeville Comics Archive, you can check that out there. So we are living the goal. We're living the goals. I'm not talking out of turn here, or talking about ambitions that'll never be realized. We're literally talking about what we're in the middle of. So these are the goals of Strangeville. We build the comic crowdfunding and archive audience so big that we can't be denied transitioning into an animated series. And then when the animated series takes off, I would then start hiring artists to continue the comic book series while I focus on writing and show running the uh, animated series. All right, so our main foreground characters, the Ganja Gremlin, the Bong Bat, and the Weed Wizard, are done. I'm going to take a small break and drink some water, and I'll be right back. We'll continue on with the next layer. Of course, everybody and their brother's texting me as soon as I go live on the live stream. That's all right. We'll get back to them later. All right, let's jump into the next layer. That's going to be everything back to the main Bong City building there. So this is going to be layer 2, and all this needs to be about like that. We're changing up the line thickness, and I'll still go in and make the line work on the foreground characters even thicker, but I like a thick, really thick line. But the line variation between the background and the foreground still needs to be even more pronounced. So we're going to work on that real quick. And I'll probably stop after I get the quote-unquote outlines inked here today. I don't think we're going to work on the entire book and the entire cover all the way to the coloring and shading and lettering and all that. I don't think we're going to go that ham on it today, or I would be here for 5-6 hours. And I don't really want to do that on my snow day here. I want to relax and chill and watch some TV and some movies, cook some dinner. But I do want to get some work done, so we are going to do that. I could either lay in all this chunky back to that layer. I can lay in all this little dots and dashes and grimy. This is what this is the kind of stuff that makes the comics look kind of dingy and grungy. It's putting all these little tick marks in. And I can either do them now or I can do them later. It really doesn't matter. So I do a lot of them on their own little layer. But in the end, it doesn't really matter. When I first started making comics digitally, I was really new to comics making, and I was really scared to make mistakes that I couldn't fix. So a little piece of eraser on my screen here, it's annoying me. And so the way I learned to draw digitally was to put absolutely everything on its own layer, so that I could always go back and fix and correct any of the mistakes I made. And the reality is, at this point, I've been doing this for so long, and I know what I'm looking for just about everything. Maybe with the exception of the color. I like to experiment with the color palette on the actual finished line art, where I could even I could experiment with it elsewhere and make a decision on the color palette and then come to the main work. But what I'm trying to get at is I could do the entire work on one layer these days, and it would be fine. I don't have to do all these meticulous different everything on a different layer to avoid mistakes. We're pretty much where we're going to be at as far as the style of this Strangeville Stonerverse is concerned. I continue to make, my artwork gets more refined and gets better, but that's to be expected when you when you make comics all the time, you'll make these you'll do these weird upgrades where suddenly you'll turn a corner and figure out how ears are drawn, and then you'll get better at suddenly get better at hands or things like that. You'll just have these little artistic epiphanies that come to you, and then you'll level up in that particular aspect of your drawing, because you can't learn everything at once. It's too overwhelming to sort of take it all in at the same time. So it's years and years and years of drawing, of repeating drawing comics, and you'll learn you'll have little upgrades. But the main style is here. It's not going to get any different than this, unless I decide to radically change my style, which I won't put it past myself. I always try to do something to challenge myself so I don't get bored and want to quit. One of the really the secrets of being a prolific creator is that you're constantly trying to oh Dr. Ben listening to me babble. I didn't see you down there. What's up?
Like I guess I'm in the middle of like a speech. Okay, I'm not okay. I'm listening. What are we? Okay. Oh, it's just.
Oh, I was saying that the secret of staying a prolific creator is to constantly challenge myself and give myself new goals and things. So I wouldn't put it past myself to completely change up my style at some point in the future. But for now, this is pretty much what I was in the middle of saying, that I used to do everything on meticulous multiple layers, so that if I made a mistake in my digital finishing of the comics, I could go back and fix it. And I was saying that pretty much these days I could do it all on one layer, because I know what the work is going to look like. I don't need all these crazy layers anymore. This is a walking joint, by the way.
Well, just a second. I've got a visitor. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Give me just a moment.
Hope it's not the cops. He came and went just as fast as he came. So, yeah, that's my point about layers, or drawing on multiple meticulous layers. The reason that I'm doing these backgrounds on multiple layers is because I want to be able to. So you see how I've got. Here, let me finish the bong, and then I'll have a nice visual aid here. I'll explain what's going on. So this bong is in the background compared to the Ganja Gremlin here. And one way to convey that is to have the line art on the Ganja Gremlin much thicker than the line art on the bong. But another way to do that is to, and this will be more pronounced once the colors are in place. But as you can see, I'm pulling the opacity of the actual black line back, and then we can kind of go in here and you can see the difference between the sort of graying line and the black line will convey a sense of depth.
Here I am. All right.
I'm explaining why I'm doing the background layer on a different layer than the foreground, because I'm going to be changing the opacity of the line art in the background, make it a little bit less opaque, so that it conveys a sense of haze in the background.
Right.
Just talking nerdy drawing stuff. How you doing, buddy?
Not bad, not bad. That's just getting all the. Got to get everything all whirled away. Get the wood stove all loaded, and get the cows all in from the back 40, the chickens, and get the herd all taken care of.
You got all that? You got a
down
bunch
on
of
the
cows?
farm. That's the no.
Do you actually live on a farm?
No, not like
No.
no.
I mean, I have lots of friends that do live on farms, so it wouldn't be
right.
out of the ordinary. I would love to live on a farm, but I don't. I need the startup money to buy the cows and the chickens.
Right. They don't come cheap anymore.
No, nothing. Pretty much, if you didn't have some money squirreled away to invest before the pandemic, you're screwed. And I am one of those screwed people. I did not put anything away, and pretty much living on borrowed time, living from one financial crisis to the next.
Excellent. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Yeah, no, I just anytime I'm like messing around with the snow and the wood stove, I'm like makes me think of like I'm battening down the hatches. I'll get ready for the winter.
Yeah, it's nasty here. I don't know how the weather is over there, but we're in the middle of an ice storm, and it's bad. I didn't. Of course, I was warned that there would be an ice storm today. I still didn't go to the grocery store last night. So I got up this morning, like, what? I don't have any food. So I had to chip my car out from underneath a 1/4 inch of ice and slide down my driveway and go down to the grocery store and pick up some supplies. And I was like, well, what better way to spend my snow day than
playing in the snow?
than drawing the cover of Wizard of Ganj.
Right.
So when I got home with all my supplies, I knocked out the pencils for the entire issue, so we're good on that. The 20-page issue, all the pencils are done, and now we're starting.
I want to try out now. That's what I'm saying. This is the first time I've done this. Done a StreamYard on the computer on someone else's. I can just do the same thing with yeah, I found you can upload like PDF files.
Oh, good.
And like that's what I was doing the other day. We were looking at wait, that wasn't with you? No. Like we were looking at the Space Jam comic I did. And it was just like I had loaded it as like a slide on StreamYard under that present.
Oh. I was thinking we could download John Podesta's emails.
Yeah, they're on here. They're on here.
As a PDF. We could do this
as a PDF. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can upload anything you want on there,
Go through the search function and look at every instance that he referenced pizza and hot dogs.
So I'm hearing that actually, how would I share that? This is the thing that you saw that little picture I sent you.
Yes.
Fake Abe. I think that's
yeah.
It's apparently in the cartoonist kayfabe fan groups, they have been officially dissed by Ed Piskor.
He dissed them.
Yes.
Really?
Let me pull this up for you. I should be able to yeah. You're gonna this is really more like a breaking news kind of thing, but I don't mind helping you. Where the heck is it?
We're gonna take this. Turn it.
Why isn't it in there? Wait, I gotta find the. That's what I'm saying. This is actually from like a little while ago, actually.
Just breaking, just now.
Just breaking, like
As fresh
3 months old.
as fresh as Ron DeSantis dropping out the presidential race and endorsing Donald Trump.
Even
newer.
fresh.
Even newer.
I don't know if I can reveal my sources yet on this, but
let's keep the sources private. All right, it's looking good.
Because they say exactly when to go into this. What do you call it? The timestamp. Timestamp. That's what it is.
The receipts.
113. Oh.
It's just a couple hours ago. Well, you're an hour ahead of me.
No. What? I'll explain it because this is. I know. Do you know who? You ever watched Word Balloon?
Mm-mm.
So John Swintress son.
Don't think I'm familiar with Mr. John.
He has a whatchamacallit, a podcast, comic book podcast. Been doing comic book podcasts. You know who he's been doing it for a while. He used to be like a sports announcer guy. He's like, he knows like all the big shots. He knows all the big shots. Tom King, all those kind of guys. He's in with all the big shots.
Sure.
Okay, I think I gotta do this. That down to there. And maybe we do that. Nope. Okay. I gotta go. Okay. I'm gonna try this present. We're gonna see what happens.
Yeah.
I don't know how, like I said, I don't know how it's gonna work.
It'll kill my stream.
It might.
Here it is.
It might.
Oh, here it is. Here we go.
Okay, so this is on this Word Balloon, Johnny Suntress's channel.
Yeah, Ed Piscor, talking hip hop history and more. Okay.
So this is
you got it all
3 months ago. Yeah.
Oh, 3 months ago.
3 months ago. So that's what I'm saying. Not really breaking news, actually.
Oh, geez.
So we'll see. I'll play it and we'll see what happens.
Okay, thank you. And no, believe me, I have been there as far as the stress, so I totally understand. Manny Gomez, and again, I don't want to keep you long, but Manny says all you have to do is look up the great comics coming out of the Cartoonist Kayfabe Ringside Seats group. Tell me about this. Have you got a community of new creators or something, or what's going on?
Like we have nothing to do with that. I don't know what that is.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, that's some unauthorized stuff.
I see, and I understand. Believe me, I understand. Oh, all right. West Coast Dave says,
yeah. So that, so that's what I'm saying. Like his fan community, he's not, doesn't have anything to do with the fan community. It's unofficialized.
And they're very, I think we've talked about them before. They're very, very gatekeepery, right? They got a lot of, if they don't like your politics, if they don't like your comics, if they don't like your friends, then you go fuck yourself. You don't get to be a part of their official, unofficial Cartoonist Kayfabe group.
There was a comment too. Is it on here? Yeah, these people are talking about this. They're like, fans of the channel, blah blah blah. He seems pissed. And this RC Comics says the group has become toxic over the past 24 months, and no one that wants to make any serious money wants to be associated with a group like that.
Make serious money. Why are we making money in a fan group?
well, you don't want to be associated with them. Ed is not stupid. So that's what these guys are saying. That the ringside seats group is toxic. That's why he does not want to acknowledge them. You know, he doesn't know. I don't know nothing about those guys. That's
sounds
you know,
serious.
Yeah. You want to make serious money? You gotta stay away from the
stay away from your own fan group.
Stay away from the cartoonist kayfabe.
If you're smart, you won't go anywhere near your own fan group.
Stay away from them fan groups is what you want to do. Then they're filled with fans.
They're filled with people who like you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you can tell that that's kind of like his like sort of attitude too. Like like Pittscore's there. Like he is kind of like, yeah, I don't know, fan groups. Even if you watch like their streams, it's like a very distinct line, right? Like it's like they're doing their thing and they might have their friends they hang out with. But if you're like watching the stream, if you're watching their channel, you're the audience.
You're you're a dog.
Yeah, you're there.
Buy my shit and shut the fuck up. They don't care about your little comic books.
Right. Yeah. Look, I'm not doing.
They did do I was thinking they did do. They showcased a fan comic though. That was it done in that group? Did the ringside seats people do that big thick? It wasn't the death of Wizard Comics. What was it called? It's something about Wizard. And I want to say
the big magazine. Yeah, the big Wizard magazine. Yeah, they did that. They covered that. They covered they did 2 issues of that of Wizard with the E.
With the E, right? And was that done by that fan group?
Yeah. And then they did they covered the Image Grand Design, but
Image Grand Design, that was the other one, yeah.
But they didn't cover, there was also a back part of it called Image Grand Disaster that was they printed one version with just Image Grand Design and then another with that and the other extended version, if you will.
All right.
They didn't look at the extended version though, man.
So he's both acknowledging his group and denying that he knows the group exists.
Yeah, that is the thing, because like with Image Grand Design in that when they did the Wizard magazine, the first issue, there was a page in there that said like Image Grand Design and it was like coming soon or whatever, right? And they were like, man, we should do that. And in fact, like the whole thing too is that like they did like a video, right? Like Ed and Jim, where like Ed laid out this whole like long pitch, like kind of like spiel of like his idea of a grand design version of Image, of like, you know, this happens and then that happens and then it's tied to The Walking Dead and this and that, and they're all, you know, he had like this whole video like outlining it, and that was supposed to be what they were doing, but I mean it wasn't. Like it definitely didn't have like whatever he was talking about didn't have anything to do with like what we actually made. Like I you know, like it was definitely just but that's what I'm saying. Like he definitely like is like encouraged that. I mean, you can't like discourage like fan comics. You know what I mean? Like if someone was like, we're gonna make fan comics of you know, of the Strangeverse of Nixon and Hogan. You know, I'm gonna do this as Nixon's first I don't know, hemorrhoid or something. I don't know, like his first demonic hemorrhoid. It comes off and it's
there've been there's dudes that get all
you know what I'm saying? Would you be like pissed? You guys can't make or you'd be like, oh, awesome, hell yeah, you know, like
what happens a lot of the times from my fandom is I get a lot of guys that make music and they want to they come to me and want to use sound samples, voice samples from quotes from the movies. And yeah, 100% of the time I say, you do whatever you want, man. You got my permission to do it. Use all that. Who cares? Like, why would I tell you no?
Right, right.
For sure.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome. Like have that like it's my song. They're playing my song.
These are butterfly joints, by the way. You ever smoked one of these, Dr. Ben?
I may have.
As an academic, I understand that you can't currently participate in any illegal activities, but
with the ground up wings.
These are bud bunnies down here.
No, actually, it's now legal in Ohio.
Yeah, it is in Illinois too, but that doesn't mean
what they've said is not. We had medicinal.
Yep.
And now we have just like regular, like just weed. Or you just have weed now.
Regular weed.
Just regular old weed. Now
same thing here, and I live on the border of Illinois and Missouri, and both Illinois and Missouri are both rec now, which is awesome. I actually do these big weed festivals in the spring and summer and fall.
You were saying like you take like your stuff to like weed shops and whatnot, and they're like,
yeah,
hell yeah,
which is awesome.
No, that's definitely. There's a couple like I'm close to like if you know where like Erie, Pennsylvania is.
Yeah.
There's a couple like actually shit, I don't know if they're still there, but there used to be like a hippie shop there.
Yeah.
Called Grasshopper.
Grasshopper.
It was just an old one of the old storefronts, and it was filled up with like hemp belts and corduroy stuff and
stoner posters.
Yeah, the black light posters and beads and blankets and all that.
Incense.
Exactly. You know exactly the shop I'm talking about. They probably had rocks and crystals at one in some
gotta have your rocks and crystals. You're just leaving money on the table if you don't have that shit for them. Them hippie bitches. I don't know if you've ever been with a hippie bitch, Dr. Ben, but she's gonna pull her crystals out of somewhere. Gotta let her do it too. You can't harsh the vibe and be like, "That's just a rock, honey. There's nothing special about it." She'll get so. She'll just get her feelings hurt. You can't hurt them hippie girls' feelings. They're very sensitive.
There are many properties of quartz. It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. You just gotta let them have it, man. Let them have it. Don't try to get in the way. All right.
Yeah. So you know exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's Grasshopper definitely. I think there might be one down in some of the university towns, like probably in Meadville.
Sure.
Edinburgh's got a school. See, that's the thing. Like now that I think about it, like the little like branches of schools, those towns don't really turn into hippie towns so much. You know what I mean? Like when it's like the extension part of it. If it's an extension in just like a little town, like it doesn't like all the rest of the college town stuff doesn't come along as well. Like it's not.
This is a little tiny Nixon and Hogan here. If you see me struggling to draw this, it's because it's about the size of a pinhead.
Excellent. So the only thing I was thinking, it is cool I can do the present thing, but I can't do anything with my own. You know how like you have your brand stuff?
Yeah.
Like I was thinking it would like let me do like that stuff too. Like I could be like, look, push like my brand thing, and I'd be like, ta-da, do my songs or something. But I'd have to get even more complicated or something. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's pretty. Like what do you know about this Kevin Strange fan group? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know nothing about those guys. Kevin Strange fans.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't have nothing.
We don't have nothing to do with that. I don't know why. Why did he do that? Why did he get all defensive about that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, and that the interviewer too, like Johnny John Centris there, he's not like a, like a bust your balls like interviewer or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
gotcha, bitch. Tell me about this toxic fan group.
Now I know you're getting. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, why? I mean, you'd be like, yeah, it's a fan group. There's a lot of creators in there. They do a lot of a lot of creators in there. I don't have anything to do with. I can't run it myself, but there's people that are fans. I think you would do that, but like, no, like, just
Ed really likes to play up the kayfabe side, cartoonist kayfabe. I think he's often
that
playing.
Could be like he's
often playing a character, and he's if what you're
see, they're trying to shut us down. Once we start exposing the truth, then they try to shut you down.
This. I've got my hand here. My pencil guide for my hand is a blurry smudge. So I'm trying to build this hand in inks with no guide. It's a little tricky, but I think we're gonna pull it off. Here we go.
Right on.
Pull it off. There's one. You're never even gonna see these hands, Dr. Ben. The whole guy is the size of a pinhead on this cover. This cover is, here's the foreground,
right?
Here's the background, and then here's Nixon.
That's him.
This big. So I'm
that's definitely him, though. Like,
I'm noodling this stuff to death for something that you're not even going to see on this cover. It's funny. As I was saying before you joined the stream, like I really don't want to make these as single issue 20 pagers, but I'm kind of I'm trying to get my attitude right about it. And if you think about those underground comics that we love so much, most of them are like anthologies with like the comics are 2 pages, 4 pages. An 8-page comic is like a long comic in the
right.
In a underground comics anthology, and the value of those comics aren't in the length of them. The value is in the outrageousness of the content itself. Even if it's how long is that Crumb book, that Crumb infamous Crumb incest story? Maybe 12 pages, maybe 8 pages. It's not very long.
I saw, speaking of Crumb, like, it's funny because it was like we were both talking about that scene with the girl biting the windowsill or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Then I saw like this whole thing by this lady, Phoebe Glockner. She's like a teacher, an academic comics person, and she was showing specifically like that page to her class, and like just to talk about like 3D, like the sense of like 3 dimensions in comics or something, and like all of them started like, this is sexist, misogynist, and like they started complaining. They opened an investigation at the school, and it's like the whole thing, and it's like this lady talking about all of it, like just all of the she was like trying to explain it to him, and like she's trying to pull up more images, and he keeps pulling up worse and worse ones. Like,
well, that's the point. That book is like, or that particular comic with the girl biting the windowsill is like 4 pages long, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's only a couple. Yeah, each of his stories is like that. It's like, it's not. Yeah,
and that thing is powerful enough to maybe almost get a teacher fired. And so I have like this
50 years later, like,
and 50 years later, it's still triggering audiences, and it has that power and an edge to it, and it doesn't have to be a million pages long. And so I have to try to change my attitude about my art, because I feel like if I'm not killing myself, just grinding my, nose to the grindstone, spending an entire year on a 150 page graphic novel, then there's not the value there for the reader. And I have to knock that attitude off, because if I do a comic right, it doesn't take but 4 pages to really leave a visceral reaction that will stay with an audience for years. So doing a 20 pager here, I shouldn't be like, oh man, I'm compromising my work ethic by doing that. I need to just embrace the fact that every image on every panel is something special. And that's what I'm trying to do here as I work through the Wizard of Ganj issue 1. Just trying to keep telling myself it's every image on every panel is something special. And so that's what we're doing. And let me tell you, it's weird, because the way I work, taking 14 months to do a project, having knocked out the pencils in a week and a half for the whole issue, I'm like, man, that's weird. I usually have to buckle in for months and 8 months of pencils before I get to move on to months and months more of inks and shit like that. So I'm just trying to embrace the change and keep in mind that it's not about page length. It's about the content itself.
Right. Well, I mean, it's like you're more than ever like focused on not even so much like the page turn, but like just like the panel turn, like just from each panel.
Yeah.
Like being able to keep people to go, okay, wow, I want to see what happens. What's the next, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And I think my graphic novels do that. It's just they're not the big books aren't hitting right now in this economy with this audience. So I can't sit and take a year to do, because I showed you that through that whole scene of the girl getting her head chopped off, and then they have the argument about whether her consciousness was still alive when she got her face came on. Like that whole scene's about 3 pages, but that's just one tiny little scene in a giant book of scenes like that. Every scene is something crazy like that, and that's why I think that these Strangeville comics are something special. But the audience is just there when I say, oh yeah, and here's 156 pages for $30, they're like, yeah, I'll pass. So I'm trying to cut it down. Now we're going to do them 20 at a time. See if the audience.
I could see that being more like, like it's more like you just want it like in smaller not necessarily small, but like 150 pages of just like, dick and balls, like just in the face is like.
Okay. I love it. That's how I prefer to consume it. But that doesn't seem to be how they're taking it. I can only do what the audience allows me to do. I'm not independently wealthy. I can't.
Well, it gives you more ability and more opportunity to focus and make
each little bit more important.
Right. If you're cutting it down from 150 to 50 pages, 48 pages or whatever, right? Like,
well, I have the whole book. The whole Wizard of Ganj book is written, and it's about between 80 and 100 pages. So it's all written and done. But instead of killing it all in one big chunk and then trying to put it in the world as a graphic novel, I'm splitting it up into single issues. So you're getting 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. All right, now, no, not there yet. Whoops. I still need to do the bong smoke. Now, why is the bong smoke coming out of the? Well, that's where the bong smoke comes out of, but there's usually someone sucking on it. So the bong smoke doesn't typically just run out of the top. But that's what's happening here, Dr. Ben, because this is the title area. You're not even really going to notice this bong smoke.
That's like the title area.
This is where it's going to say Wizard of Ganj. So that's why I just made a big smoke cloud in the top area. What do you think about DeSantis dropping out of the race, buddy? How do you feel about that? It was a shock to me that he dropped out on a Sunday.
Why was he even in the race?
This is true.
That's my question. Like, what?
In a perfect world, he was in the race to become the VP, but this era of Donald Trump, where he doesn't have Steve Bannon and he doesn't have Roger Stone and he doesn't have who was the dude that went to prison?
Roger Stone.
Well, he did too, but the
General Flynn?
Not Flynn. He was the original campaign manager.
Would have been Roger Stone.
No, he was a consultant. There was another dude. He was one of the first guys to go to jail. He was Roger Stone's partner.
Roger Stone's partner?
Him and Roger Stone were like co-chairs of the campaign.
Oh, no.
But anyway, Trump doesn't have those people in his corner anymore. And especially losing Steve Bannon is a big blow to his vision and direction for the country. And I'm just not sure that he's going to be smart enough without those kind of consultants.
You don't think Roger Stone's like hanging around with you don't think like Stone's like messaging him or anything? Like they're not like talking in some fashion?
Well, yeah, but not as intensely. I mean, imagine, you can get him on the phone once a week versus being at his side 24 hours a day running the campaign. He's definitely, those guys are still Paul Manafort, is that his name?
Yeah.
I think it was Paul, but yeah, he went to jail pretty early on in the administration last time. But I just don't think he has the kind of people in his direct ear that are going to tell him like, dude, DeSantis as your VP is the best possible option. I mean, that would be a monster ticket. And I don't think there's enough votes to steal in the world for the Biden administration to be able to beat a DeSantis Trump ticket. And I just don't think Trump has the political acumen with his current consultants to make that choice. It's going to be like Carrie Lake or some woman, and they're going to be a non-entity. The VP pick is going to just be, might as well be nobody. It's going to be an empty suit. Whereas DeSantis's VP would be.
You don't think Vivek or Vivek has any?
He should have a place in the cabinet, but I wouldn't make him VP. I think Trump said as much. He's going to give him. We will be working very closely with Mr. Ramaswamy. He's a brilliant man, a fantastic man. I've been saying so all along.
That's pretty good. That's good.
I do an okay Trump. I'm not. Not great with impressions, but I do what I can.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was pretty good. Like better than me, because I don't know what to say with him. But you had sound like.
Well, he only says 3 things. Right. I've said this all along. It's amazing. These people are great. Together, we're going to make America great again. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who he's going to pick, but I think it's just going to be some empty suit that's not going to, because the biggest, Trump's biggest, his biggest strength and his biggest weakness are his ego. And he does not want someone close to the power who he sees as a threat to the power.
Right.
So I think that DeSantis is also too egotistical, his ego's too big to be able to be in a room with Trump and work together. But think about it. If DeSantis was VP, he would be writing and let's just say in a perfect world, Trump and DeSantis, president and VP, 4 years of economic prosperity. The border gets closed back down. The businesses thrive again. We've already lived through it once. We know what Trump can do economically for this country. He's an economic powerhouse. then he could put things right back on the road to prosperity. And then at the end of that 4 years, Ron DeSantis gets to run for president, having been the VP under the great American resurrection. He'll be a fucking shoo-in for four more years or 8 more years of economic prosperity. I mean, it's too fucking good to be true, Dr. Ben. I don't think Trump is a smart enough guy to do that. He's not
I
smart
don't
enough
see
to
him
set.
picking.
He's not. What's that?
I don't see him going with DeSantis at all. Like DeSantis is just going to play the back in whoever the I don't know if he'd go so far as to like back whoever is going to be the Democrats. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like sometimes you got that.
He already endorsed Trump.
Did he?
Yeah, when he during his concession speech, he backed Trump.
Oh, I didn't.
Which is he's throwing a softball up in the air for Trump to hit. If Trump knew what was good for him, he'd pick him as his VP to set up another 8 years of economic prosperity for America, because he could not only be known as one of the greatest economic presidents of all time, but then he can also be the guy that set up the next. He could be the kingmaker and set up the next guy. And I just don't. That's a perfect world. I just don't think I don't think we live in that world.
Yeah, I don't think DeSantis is. Or DeSantis is. I don't think he's like got like broad enough appeal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's definitely like party material, but at the same point, like he's just kind of like just like sort of like a one note. You know what I mean? Like, I just see him just being like, like he's just too much of just a snake or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I definitely didn't trust him, but I mean,
well, what I trust about DeSantis is his record in Florida. He just absolutely batters and beats on the left and makes these awesome laws that knock the leftist insanity on their ass, fighting with Disney and winning and shit.
I don't think that's like. I think he was just doing all of that just as a publicity stunt, like because that's plenty of stuff like with Florida and all the just all the extreme like nuttiness with all the social distancing and all that. You know what I mean? Like all the nonsense with that stuff. Like Florida was like right on that too. Like I will say they're like now
he didn't let anything shut down in Florida. DeSantis kept the entire state open. He wouldn't do any state sanctioned closings or anything during that.
No, well, I just mean like wacky videos and stuff, like different places. Like on a statewide, like he didn't do it as much. And that's what I'm saying. Like I will give him that he's like it's definitely all changed. His is the one that's the attorney general. Is that the health guy? That's like calling for them to like stop him or whatever. Like that's the current dude. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I definitely like bits of him, but I don't think it creates more of a divisive front than a united front for him to have been like come out now. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't see him as being anything beyond that. Like he'll constantly be like I could see him being the sort of guy that like if he was the VP, you'd be thinking the whole time, like anytime some kind of shit broke, that it was like somehow linked to him, like doing like double crossing kind of shit.
That's a very interesting take. I don't think of DeSantis like that at all. And a lot of the things you're saying are the things that people accuse Trump of. He only does those things as publicity. He doesn't believe in any of the policies that he enacts. He only does it because he wants people to like him and this and that. My response to that has always been he still does it. He's still doing it. It's still helping the economy. And so if DeSantis is doing these crazy things like the "Don't Say Gay" law, where he's trying to keep these woke leftist teachers from trying to teach DEI gender shit in
Right.
grade schools, and you say, well, DeSantis is only doing that because he wants you to like him. It's like, well, he's still doing it. There's only 2 or 3 states that have fought back against that crazy stuff in grade schools, and he was chief among them. He started that he introduced that legislation first before any other states, and really started battling the school system, the degeneracy in the school systems. And
Right.
if you say, well, he only did that because he wants people to like him, it's like, well, that's every policy Trump has ever enacted. People said the same thing about him.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Who do you like as VP?
I don't know. I
In your perfect world, I just set up my perfect scenario. What's your perfect scenario for the for the coming months
for VP? I don't know. I don't think he can really like say who it will be. You know what I mean? I think whatever little boost he can get from it, I think he's got to wait until just like as long as he can. That's how I kind of feel it, because it feels like my problem is that it feels like with the with Democrats, it feels like at any moment, like Joe Biden is going to somehow be eliminated. Like he's going to drop out. He's going to fall into a coma. He's going to trip and like split it. You know what I'm saying? Something horrible is going to happen to him at any moment.
Yeah.
And it will be what happens then? Like who comes in to replace Joe Biden? If it's like, it can't be that they're like, yes, we're just going to keep running Joe and Kamala. That's the plan. Like,
there's a lot of talk about them yanking him at the last minute, putting Gavin Newsom or Michelle Obama. There's a lot of different talk about that. But as far as the Republican primaries, it's over. This woman is going to drop out on Tuesday night, and that's it.
right.
We're not even going to make it to Super Tuesday. There's nobody left. It's a 2-person race that's a 1-person race. So, and he can wait. He doesn't have to announce his VP pick right then, but at some point he's going to have to. Who do you see as the perfect VP for
I don't think there is a perfect one. I don't think is the first thing. Like I don't think there's one that's like obviously he should pick this one. I like Vivek, but also I think Mr. Ramaswamy is sus is what how I would classify him. He says a lot of things that that people want to hear. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't know. He does seem, and he was at like the World Economic Forum stuff too, I think.
Yeah.
Seems.
He's got a lot of suspect things about him, but so do they all do. We're talking politics here.
Right. I mean, they all do.
All scumbags.
If we're honest here, they all do. They're all slime, but which one doesn't have as much slime, apparently?
No, it's more like which flavor of slime do you like the taste of the most?
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I think if he's gonna do anything with it, though, I think he's got to pick something he's got to pick somebody that's just like out of like left field or something or other. And I don't even know like where you would go, like if you start talking about like, well, maybe Tucker. Tucker's pretty,
I like the Tucker thing, but I mean I think that's fantasy football in a nutshell. He has no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Tucker's a left field candidate, but like I don't really see that happening either. You know what I mean? I could see Tucker being maybe like press secretary. That would be like
Tucker as press secretary would be perfect for me. So I would do DeSantis as the VP, Tucker as the press secretary, and where can we put Vivek that he would do really well? Because Vivek needs to be in that cabinet, and he needs something with meat in it. So do we make him
the foreign minister, or whatever they call him, the Secretary of State?
We make him Secretary of State.
Secretary of State.
Is he good with every time I hear him talk, he's mostly like blasting mainstream media and woke culture, I don't really hear him talk about foreign affairs very much. Is he pretty well versed in that stuff?
He has to be. He has to be. It's I just think that would be a good keep him out of the room, keep him like doing something that's not like too because that's what I'm saying, is he seems too like snaky to be like involved with like anything here.
Well, let's be real. Let's be brutally honest here. No matter who is chosen to be what in what cabinet, Jared Kushner will always be Donald Trump's brother-in-law, and he's going to be in the Oval Office, fucking everything up no matter what. So, I mean, you're talking about snakes and keeping them out of the room. We have the biggest snake is going to be in the room no matter what.
Yeah, well, there is that. But maybe he'll figure out how to get rid of them. I mean, who knows? Like,
I would love to believe that, but I don't have that much faith in Donald Trump. When he had the opportunity to pick between Jared Kushner and the guy who got him elected, Steve Bannon, he picked Jared Kushner. And Bannon left after what, a year? Bannon left after that first year because it was him versus Kushner, and Kushner kept pushing Trump to do stupid globalist shit, and Bannon was, of course, Bannon is the father of the America First movement, and so he was like, "Fuck no, we're not doing anything like that." And they kept fighting for the ear of Trump, and Trump picked Kushner and sent Steve Bannon packing. And it's like, well, that's all you need to know about the Trump administration. It's basically the Kushner administration.
Yeah,
now, is that better than anything the Democrats have to put forth? Absolutely. But
yeah, I mean, that is perfect. It's not as bad. It's not as bad as the slime with chunks. That's what I don't like. I don't like the slime with chunks.
The slime with chunks costs me a lot of fucking money. I'm only going to vote for people who have a serious solution to the economic problems that we face. Because, dude, it's so tough to get by right now. Food is so everything. The inflation, just trying to buy yourself food is, my God, it's expensive.
That's what they tell me.
I don't personally eat food, but that's
I don't personally go shopping or prepare my food, but those, that's what the workers have been telling me.
The plebs have been complaining a lot about the cheese lately.
The cook has been saying his supplies are increasing in expense, and keeps asking to ask for more for the grocery.
He knows how I feel about spending my money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's once you reach the top, it's hard to appreciate what the little people go through still.
No, when wealthy people, they make money during economic hard times. This is when they make their most money. They can buy up things, invest their money in places for very cheap, and just wait it out. Lots of money to be made in an economic recession.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't have any money, so I can't take advantage of that.
All mine is tied up in copies of Spawn 8 and Spawn 9.
And Bitcoin. And all my NFT collection. My robust NFT collection.
Robust Spawn NFT collection.
Yeah, my robust Spawn NFT collection. I got them diamond hands I'll never sell.
You don't see people whining about fucking Todd McFarlane selling Spawn NFTs. I just thought about that. Yeah. He was doing I just saw something about that. Like, it was a video. It was like Todd McFarlane doing a portfolio review. It's Todd McFarlane doing they had some kind of name for it.
Yeah.
Fuck. Something key, fun key, low key, some kind of shit for these NFTs, right? 'Cause I remember seeing it and like I think I was in like the Discord for it. Like I just wanted to see what it was. And it was you could buy these Spawn little NFTs with pictures of Spawn and shit on them.
Right.
But apparently, like if you did something or other, eventually you could get a portfolio review with Todd if you bought enough of the fucking things. Or
You see here, you see right here with the anatomy. What you need here, kid, is you need to study your anatomy, and it's not hard if you look at the right pictures.
but yeah, you didn't see, you haven't heard anyone complain about Todd McFarlane selling LFT shit.
No,
But that's what I could use this present thing for, is I could go off on my spiels and be able to bring up shit.
what you're talking about? Yeah,
Yeah.
could bring up some NFT, some Spawn
Bring
NFT.
up some NFTs. Pink cat, TCAF. Let's see. I bet that.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna draw you a face, and pay attention. Pay attention here. Common mistake.
Okay, so which one do you want to see this on? It has it on Bleeding Cool and on Comics Beat. Well, Comics Beat is the first one, so we'll just put that on. Come on, it's trying. Do you have to do anything for me to share a
It just
screen?
pops up in the bottom. It's like another. Yeah, here we go. We got it. It just came through.
Okay. Okay, so this is from
Disincentivizes NFT miner Pink Cat from show amid criticism. Swipes and old tweets painted a very bad picture.
Yeah,
Old
so this
tweets.
is from 2022. This, let's see.
Oh.
Just one example of Pink Cat's art that she tributed Tank Girl. Yeah, she was doing a tribute to Pink Girl, or Tank Girls, what she was calling it.
Well, let's look at it. Do you think that was traced? Because it looks to me like she could have just referenced it. That leg isn't in the exact same spot.
Yeah, she's not really.
It doesn't look like a trace. It just looks like a reference.
A reference. Yeah, it's not hard to like draw that and like
No.
get the same.
Yeah, it's a pretty basic pose, and because you can tell when somebody like really swipes something like a direct tracing versus
One, two.
Using it
seemed like it was. You want me to read this?
Yeah, go ahead.
I can do it. It seemed like it was a regular old Memorial Day weekend. The little comic circles for all the wrong reasons. It all started when TCAF, the Toronto Comics Arts Festival, started announcing guests for this year's event, which is little more than 2 weeks away. Here we have a tweet of TCAF welcomes Pink Cat at Pink Cat Daily as a featured guest for 2022. You could read her bio there. I don't know if this works or not, but I think that's just a link to a picture of that. So she's a lady.
Mm-hmm.
She draws these Pink Cat cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
She's a single mother from a refugee from Iran, and she draws these comics, and they're about being a single mom, and it's kind of. Oh, okay. The description of Pink Cat's work did not go over well with Twitter. Pink Cat. is a Middle Eastern American viral artist born on Web 2 and based in Richmond, California. A classically trained
Web
designer.
2. What does that mean?
Web 2.
What is Web 2?
Web 2.3. She has amassed 250,000 followers on Instagram, 90% women ages 18 to 35, by posting her comics every day on social media since 2016. After first publishing her first comic book,
getting women to read comics is a feat. So I mean, already my hat's off to her.
Well, you don't want women reading comics, is what that
because it'll come to the
250,000 women reading comics are wrong.
It's a bad time. You're asking for trouble getting 250,000 chicks to read comics.
We want to put a stop to that. And well, see, she is currently selling a generative NFT collection, merch, and self-producing an animated series based on her character. So she has got to be stopped.
Ambitious. Very ambitious.
Yeah, she is. We need to stop this lady. All it took with those 3 little letters NFT to ignite a hailstorm of criticism. But it got bigger and bigger when it was learned that Pink Cat, real name Saba Moea, was also tracing art on her long-running daily Instagram comic.
See, I'm not convinced that. I mean, you're gonna have to show me some more examples before I believe that she's tracing other artists.
People were finding examples all over the place. Get ready. This is it.
There you go.
This is. I think it's even trying to load all of them. TCAF has just absolutely shit the entire bed, and the artist community is dumping all over them.
That actually says that. Shit the entire bed.
The entire community. All of They invited some
astroturfing NFT loser, half of whose art is traced and copied from better artists. TB Sky in there is really laying into her.
Oh, they were. Another Blitz
cadet.
Plagiarism. Greg Staples art. 6 plagiarism counts.
6.
Oh no.
Here they are. Okay, bring these up. Let's see. She likes to swipe Tank Girl. Again, bring up that one to the left there. We already looked at the one on the right. See if you can enlarge the one on the left. Because I'm even from this far away, that doesn't look like a trace. Okay, I mean, if it's a trace, it's such a very basic trace. I understand the pose is exactly the same. I understand the pose is exactly the same. Maybe that one is a trace. But it could be. She's not very good at tracing. The point is her art is so crude comparatively that it's hard to even criticize it, because it's like, well, I mean, that's crap anyway. Like, I mean, that's
what I'm saying. Like, is it really like that big of a deal? Like,
because I'm looking at the tank now.
Right.
Does the tank look 100% traced? I guess so. If anything is completely traced.
What are they? Like a light box image or whatever. Like, probably I could see that. Like,
all right. Quarter of 1,000,000 women. You're telling me 250,000 women dig this fucking shit on the left? I mean, this isn't good art to begin with.
This is the thing too. Is was this? I think there might be. Hold on a second. Is that another? Oh, geez, what is this? This is a link to the whole thing. Oh, okay. This was the other thing. Was she tweeted this? She tweeted this?
All right.
This was Pink Cat said, "Wynwood in Miami is dope. Lots of very pro-looking murals, not community murals. Laughing my ass off. I don't enjoy amateur artists being driven grand platforms." all over the bill. Oh man, she doesn't like amateur artists.
Jeez,
Yeah.
what a hypocrite!
This lady.
This lady doesn't. She has no. What do you call that?
She's one of these. The same as like Piscor. See, there's a theme in this. There are all these elitists. You guys should read the.
She doesn't have humility. She doesn't have any humility. She thinks she's well. She does have 250,000 women who read her daily swipe comics or daily traced comics. So I can understand why she'd be so cocky.
In here, she's saying that to read the quoted tweets and see my DMs, rejected artists are some. I think people started harassing her in her direct mentions. That's that. Okay. Okay. Well, so the tracing isn't even subtle. There's people like
the tracing isn't even subtle.
It's not even subtle.
Okay.
Okay. So this is so you see what's going on here. There. What did I do? So it's still start of this one. Okay. Okay. So that's that. This was bad enough, but Moeel responded with confrontational tweets that showed a lack of concern for swipes. Said, I don't care about tracing others' art. I have 2,500 posts. Some are my own. Some are homages. I don't share your idea of rules, and that's okay because the art is for me, not for you or others. And that's okay, too. No one needs to react passionately or negatively against it. That's just diversity. So that seems
okay.
That's a confrontation.
It's a little less harsh than that. Crying
it doesn't really seem confrontational. She's just like not being
engaging.
like, oh, you're right. We also seem to not understand that TCAF is a comics festival, not a trade show.
Oh boy!
The way they're like, see, you know that there's the people that are like just very serious about someone. They don't understand
about some woman selling her fucking art at a comic book show that they're probably not even going to attend.
So yeah, she said, well, she said, geez, I got invited to a comic book trade show and people who love the central banking system exploded.
People who love the central banking system.
Because she's for NFTs and they are.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
Okay, that's the other one we read that and she was racist too. As past racist and transphobic tweets were uncovered.
Here we go. Now her morality is in question, Dr. Ben. Not only does she trace comics, but she doesn't subscribe to the trendy morals of the moment. How dare she?
I don't even know if I can read. I can't read this myself.
Just checked the social medias of my enemies, and yes, they are still vapid T-word Mona Lisa looking beezies. T-slur. Just say T-slur.
T-slur.
They are still vapid T-slur Mona Lisa looking beezies. What's a beezy?
I think that might stand for bitches, maybe. Beezies, beaches. Beezies.
What a beezy. What a fucking beezy.
And when this is the definition of transphobia, actually. Yeah.
I'm not transphobic because I don't want to share bathrooms with men. Even in mosques and trains, there are spaces for only women. Well,
so that
cancel her now. She's obviously evil.
Yeah, so they rightfully heard these concerns, and they announced that a statement would be forthcoming. Previously announced guests, even before they even made a statement, Ngozi Ukasu tweeted that she would no longer be attending.
I'm not going anywhere where somebody says the word tranny on the internet. Excuse me.
Pink Cat is going to be there. She will not be. I will not be. I will no longer be attending TCAF. Not only do I disagree with the platforming of NFTs, but I will also not be a featured guest alongside an influencer.
I take transphobia just as seriously as I take selling JPEGs on the internet. Okay, that's how strong of a moral advocate I am.
Well, that's what it is. Selling a JPEG is
it's a revolutionary act, man.
It's a slippery slope to genocide, is what it is. I mean, let's not. I don't want to sugarcoat it. I don't want to, let people think it's not a joke. It's selling JPEGs to kids. Next thing
selling JPEGs to kids,
lining them up against a wall. I mean, it's
up against the wall. What's the difference?
What's the difference? Yeah, so she is Ngozi. I don't know if that was not sure of their pronouns, but the criticism gained intensity. Some called for a boycott of TCAF itself. Others suggested that someone
shut the whole thing down. You got a transphobic NFT seller there. Shut it down. Yeah. I wasn't going to go anyway, but shut it down. I live 3 countries away, but if that thing happens, I'll never.
See, I kind of like this idea. The more I think about it, the more like you can shut things down that are you don't like. Basically, that's
why stop there? Why not just shut everything down?
Shut it all down. That's what I mean.
Why let anything happen?
A world without borders. Shut everything down.
A world without anything. A world without fun is what we're trying to accomplish here, obviously. We can't have fun because, transphobia exists in this world, so we're not allowed to have fun.
Well, this is the thing. What do they always say with this stuff? Follow the money, right?
Follow the money? Oh, shit.
Yeah,
shit. Where's the money go?
We haven't even gotten to the, yeah.
Oh, God, Dr. Ben.
Because some people suggested that maybe someone on the TCAF's board that approves all these artists, they must have been invested in Pink Cat's NFTs.
Insider trading, Dr. Ben.
Many felt that it was no longer a safe space for artists. They could be losing, signing away rights. Who knows what we happen with these?
They could literally be killed.
Literally be killed. In general, it sounded like the much-awaited return of one of the most beloved events on the indie comic circuit had been blasted into an Elon Musk-shaped crater of appropriative grifting. This morning. Oh yes, this was the morning this was released. This was breaking news. This morning, the TCAF board finally made an announcement. Pink Cat was no longer invited.
Oh no. Oh no. 10,000 T words that live 5 countries away and had no ability to attend that show, even if they wanted to, sighed in relief. There's no more danger. There's no more literal violence directed.
It's just simply more people saying that there is no place for genocide in the world. It's just not acceptable to have genocides ever. And Pink Cat is saying that there is a place for genocide in her Pink Cat comic strips. That's where you will find.
That's where you'll find the most heinous genocide.
Yes. Yes, it is rough stuff. It is pretty rough. I would invite you to look it up, but I know that you have a sensitivity to violence and
a trigger.
A trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want to.
It'll trigger my PTSD.
Yeah. So they disinvite her. At the time of the invitation, the organization was unaware of Moel's online conduct, plagiarism, or allegations of tracing. We apologize for.
I love that they're treated with the exact same weight.
Allegations of tracing,
bigotry, and tracing, equally problematic.
Equally. You tracer, you bigot,
you fucking tracer.
See, if I had my thing, if I could play my things, I'd play that one where it has the guy from Mallrats yelling, "Your mother's a tracer." It's one of my favorite. In reading your feedback, there are a few things that the organization would like to address. TCAF does not accept money to program featured artists or featured guests ever. These artists are selected on a wide set of criteria. Most featured guests at TCAF are funded or attend our festival through cost sharing between the festival, publishers, or international cultural agency. No one in the TCAF organization has financial ties to Mobile. They're part-timers. So they're part-time. We work part-time, so what do you expect? They do not tolerate bullying or threats either. So that was with this solved the biggest problem. Well, this solved the biggest problem. That was the biggest problem, was that lady was going to come there and sell
some cat pictures.
Sell
She was going to sell some cat pics. Huge relief. Sigh of relief.
That was the biggest problem.
I mean, this article makes it sound like it was this article makes it sound like they prevented a nuclear fucking holocaust.
It did not calm the
woman
fears
is no longer attending. Go ahead. Sorry to cut you off.
It did not calm the fears, though. People have been worked into a frenzy. People felt that merely inviting an artist who was in any way involved with NFTs was a problem.
And as we know, Dr. Ben, the left never accepts an apology. The apology only opens people up for further attacks. So it's like, well, it's good that the cat lady is no longer going to sell cat pictures at your event, but why did you invite her in the first place? Now you're the problem.
You shouldn't have. Exactly. How did she even get invited? Who was it? It should be noted that some of Mawil's most controversial statements, it literally goes from that better vetting of guests should have taken place, and then it just says here noted most controversial statements can be found on the Wayback Machine or through Googling some of her other past businesses. So a quick Google search isn't going to do it. What? So they're telling you you have to use the Wayback Machine and Google her other past businesses
to find the things that are going to upset you.
They're kind of like telling you how to stalk someone.
Yeah, how to cyber stalk this woman's posts that are going to make you mad.
Although it wasn't mentioned in their statement when asked directly if anyone on TCAF staff owned a pink cat NFT, a spokesperson told the Beat a flat no. Suspicions remain, however.
Lord.
Good
Lord.
Yeah, so I think I don't know if this gets into all of it or not.
There's more?
Oh, she's already planning on dining out on the controversy. Yeah, she's going to dine out on... let me see if this still brings this up. She went onto this guy's YouTube show that he has at his comic book shop every Tuesday night. Literally just this dude at his comic shop, talking about the new comics that just came out. She wasn't dining out.
Well, because once they cancel you, you're not allowed to do anything ever again. How dare you go on a YouTube show after we humiliated you. You can't
like,
continue to live
so
your life.
Bizarre. Like
Not that,
that's
again,
just like a sample of like I remember like watching all this and just being like, whoa, these are some evil people. These people are like coming at this lady, screaming and going crazy.
I mean, let's be honest. She obviously sucks, but there are people who the thing that these Zoomer kids on the internet can't get their minds around is that there are various levels of crappy people in the world, and they are going to exist no matter how much they kick and scream and cry about their existence. It's like, oh, you said things that offend me. It's like you're going to be offended by stuff every day for the rest of you cannot eliminate the things that offend you on the internet. And girls who trace cats is, that's one thing that will continue to exist, whether you can try to cancel them all, but cat ladies that trace cats are going to still be there tomorrow morning when you wake up, no matter how much you kick and scream on the internet about it.
Here, like this is another one of hers. This is another picture of the pink cat kissing the dude. This is on they called her the Gen Z Garfield at the LA Times. Like I mean, she's, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing like particularly panels exploring tarot and astrology, party culture, and polyamory. Like, anyone who sees this lady's stuff and thinks like she's trying to rip off Tank Girl.
Yeah, she's going to take all of Tank Girl's money.
Yeah.
And it sucks. I'm not saying it doesn't suck. I'm saying that the reaction to the sucking.
It's whether or not it's good or not, you know what I mean? Like, she's just some lady, like, and she's drawing her comic about cats, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the comic, that's her.
I'd hit it. Would you hit it, Dr. Ben?
She seems like a nice lady. I mean, she seems like, especially, well, this is the thing. Even facing all this, she seemed like didn't seem angry. She was just like one of these people getting mad about, I traced a Tank Girl picture and made it a cat lady. What? This is what you're mad about? I'm selling JPEGs? But the face of genocide, I mean, I would expect to be attractive.
You would expect them to, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, an ugly woman wouldn't dare.
Yeah,
ugly woman wouldn't dare.
Her, I mean, if she's telling me to go start hunting down
T-words,
whoever, I probably would. You know, she's okay. What do you want me? You want me to fight who? Okay, yes. Point them out. Point them out. I'm going.
There it is. Yeah.
So they so this I'm saying
if I would have known about this, I would have slid right up in them DMs. Hey baby, listen. Number one, knock off that tracing shit. Just say you're sorry. and just draw your own shit. But number two, I'm gonna need to come down there and console you. I understand it's a tough time for you right now. I'm gonna fly down and I'm gonna take care of you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Sexually. Got all that tension and stress built up in them titties, honey. I'm gonna work all that out for you.
That's what I'm saying. She's, like, and and I said stuff. This is the thing too. When this was happening, I guess it's 2022.
Maybe we'll throw our own convention.
And I complained to the other people in the, even bringing further back in the cartoonist kayfabe ringside seats community. I was like, look at this.
It all comes together now.
These TCAF people, look at what they're doing to this lady.
Utter MILF. This absolute piece.
I tried to put it in like a non, because I know, like, okay, they're like they got their trigger words in the ringside seats or whatever. So I was like, like, This lady
this
cartoonist.
fat titty cat cartoonist.
Cat cartoonist.
This fat titty cat tracer got herself in some trouble, guys.
She's getting shit on by these fucking art snobs. Like, guys, what the fuck? And they were all like, no, fuck her.
Gotta come to a rescue, fellas.
They're like, we want to get in at TCAF, so we can't really say, we're not going to say, fuck, she's tracing. Well, she's tracing, bro. I'm like, what? She's got 250,000 like women readers of her fucking cat comic, and you want to complain about her fucking tracing? Like, you fucking nerds. This is why you're all single fucking homely nerds. You're complaining to women that they're tracing. Like, let them trace. They want to trace, let them trace. Who's not tracing?
Baby, you can trace my dick all you want.
So that's what I'm saying. She went off Instagram for a while. The same thing. I was watching all that stuff, and I'm just like, this is like absurd. They're like the same thing with this was all that canceling people was really big that year.
Oh yeah.
That was 2022. That was her. It was when Eric July was coming out with his comic book, and they were the same thing in the cartoonist kayfabe fan group there.
Not to change the course of the conversation, but did you see that Twitter account that like started polling all the SketchUp assets?
Oh yeah,
that had been used in ISOM. I mean, there was a lot. There was a lot.
I think I can. Yeah, we should look and see if there's is this? Yeah, and that's what I'm saying too. The same thing with the ISOM guy. Like, is that sucky that he's using SketchUp stuff? Is this
Looked like he was being a little lazy there. And I guess the funny part is Eric didn't even know. He didn't realize.
Oh, it's this. I think this is it.
He didn't realize he was paying a dude to trace.
This is the one you're talking about.
There you go. Poor Eric. Got bamboozled by his artist.
Yeah, the one of the truck is like the this inside of this warehouse. But the truck is the bad one. Oh, see, this is what I want to get. They were doing a thing where they were. I guess everyone's just watching me save files now. Okay. They were doing a thing where they were taking this picture and then like putting their own characters on it. Like, they're just. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. I don't think he should not be allowed to make comics, or he should be kicked out of comics because they used.
Well, there's like two groups. There's a group of fanatical Eric July haters that pretend like this isn't common. It's common, especially in manga, where the manga background artists will take assets and build the manga backgrounds while the main artist does all the characters and the cools and the fun, does all the fun stuff, and then the background artists go grab these digital assets and build the backgrounds. It's not uncommon, especially in manga, and it's not uncommon in American comics either, but the guy just seems to really have pushed it.
It's not so much that he like traced them even, but it really
it looks like he colored them. He just colored them. He didn't even draw them. He just colored them. Put them in place and then colored over them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's. I would, you know what I mean? Like, if that's. I don't have a problem using the stuff, Well, you got to do something with it beyond just, color it. Like, do some shading on it. Do some, you know what I'm saying? Like, do more than. I mean,
Let me
that's
pull
what I'm
this.
saying. That's bad.
Let me pause the
And
conversation for a second. Let me pull this up.
let me come over. There you go.
I have completed the inks so far. I'm probably still
No.
going to add a little more detailing here and there. Maybe it's pretty detailed. So there is the cover, and it's going to say the Wizard of Ganj up here, and maybe the way my thumbnail. I'll show you my thumbnail. The way my thumbnail has it, it says written and illustrated by Kevin Strange up here, and just kind of lets the Weed Wizard have the bottom, without putting any words down here. So it's probably going to
Okay.
stay. It's just gonna. That's what the lettering is going to end up looking like when we're done.
What's the Ganj? Okay. So yeah. So like, hold on. Let me grab a thing. Okay. Oh, did you leave the table too? You have just dead air.
No, I'm just sitting here. I'm just looking at my drawing. I don't mind dead air. It's all right.
Can you can you hear my whole my fan thing blowing over here or no?
No, I can't really. No, not really.
I gotta throw a chunk into the wood here.
Do it up. I think I'm going to add some more joint butterflies in this little spot right here. I'm not liking the emptiness of this little spot. I think we need some butterflies. Let's do it. We're going right to inks too. Right to inks because I think that's the wrong size. That's the size for there too. All right.
All right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The only problem with using the computer instead of the phone, I don't have a camera hooked up to the computer that I can like look down on whatever I'm drawing. Like it just
you could what you could do is both. You could sign in on your phone and the computer.
Right.
And then have two, and I would put two both of your
the other
screens.
thing that might start lagging down my my shit. My
That's true.
though. And that's what I'm saying. What would it even be to just be like, so I have the good microphone over here, and I can also bring stuff up.
Right. Okay. Felt like this was some dead space over here, so I put some more butterflies in. We can go back to, if you want to keep doing that, we can go back to the Pink Cat drama, or we can go back to the Eric July tracing drama.
That's what I'm saying. Is that was the Pink Cat drama? Was that they invited her, and then they're all like, "Oh, she's selling NFTs. You sell NFTs."
Yeah, there was another story last year of a girl that was she would draw, and then watercolor her own original art, and then she would run it through AI filters and clean it up and make it look quote unquote better.
Right.
And then she would print it out on high quality prints, and she would sell these AI enhanced prints. She also had a giant Instagram following, and she got invited to a show, and they were dramatic. I think it was actually San Diego Comic-Con in Artist Alley, and they dramatically stomped over there in the middle of the show and kicked her out for selling AI generated art. But her example was a little bit, gray area, because she was AI enhancing what was clearly already her own art, and pretty meticulously created. Like, she would draw it and paint it with watercolors before she would AI enhance it. So I'm not sure whatever happened to that girl, but I'm sure that wasn't a fun weekend for her. And I'm not advocating AI art. I think it's lame as fuck. But when you're enhancing your own art, like, is that really something people need to complain about?
Well, you know who Dave McKean is?
Uh-uh.
What? The guy who did all you've seen the Sandman comics?
Yeah.
You know how they all have like the covers for all of them are all
yeah. I shared one of those covers.
Okay, so that's Dave McKean, right?
Okay.
And he did Arkham Asylum.
Right.
So that's Dave McKean, right? So he's like, like the kind of like photorealism, photo collage, all kinds of, He did an AI book, I think like last year. It was either last year or 2022. It was one of the two. That was the same. There was just him making stuff with Midjourney, having a conversation with the AI. Like, I read this whole interview with him, and he's like, "Well, it's using all of the art ever. That's my understanding. Is it uses every picture ever that's on the internet, and it uses all of them to create these things. And he just explained exactly that like the AI is using every picture and painting, and didn't say like that he had somehow secured copyright rights or whatever that you would need to have all of them. Whatever their argument is now, it was like before they started going real. Well, they were angry about AI then too, but it was before it had gotten really ramped up like it is now. Right. And like nobody said anything about his shit. Like nobody was like, "This is disgusting. Dave McKean stole everyone's art and made his own." Nobody said anything. That's what I'm saying. Like with all of these times where they get like so mad at someone, it only takes like the smallest amount of like research or like looking at news sources to find an example of them doing the exact opposite thing, and
right.
Not just like with it. You know what I mean? Like every time it's like, we're so upset about this thing here, blah blah blah, and like if you just look every time, you'll find like them doing the exact opposite thing, just with no doubt of thought. It's just like, and if you point either of them out, you're like, well, are you also angry at Dave McKean? Because like, I've heard like all these people that get so angry at AI art.
Yeah.
Oh, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, well, so you're saying all that stuff about Dave McKean too, right? Like, and they're like, they don't have an answer for that. So like the brain is just like, and just shuts down.
Twitter outrage hasn't told them what to say yet.
Right.
And I'm not defending AI art. I think it's cheesy as fuck. But
yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like it's, like I'm sure like in a couple years, like they're going to have some sort of different version of it. It's going to do something like completely, you know what I mean? Like whatever AI is that we have access to is not making like goofy looking pictures and stuff is not what it's for. You know what I mean? Like
what I would like to see is it used when it comes to AI art. First of all, I think it's kind of this is just a bunch of neckbeards that want to be artists but don't want to put the effort in to become artists. Playing around, and I don't think it's going to be as popular. What's that?
Could be quadriplegics or paraplegics.
Well, that's the argument that they tried to start making on Twitter, was like, this is for disabled people that can't participate. It's like, all right. Anyway,
right. Yeah, that's
what I would like to, because it's not going to go away, but I don't think it's going to be as popular as it is now. I think it's at its peak popularity. I think that it's a sort of a new, fresh thing that people are experimenting with. But and they're trying. What it is they're trying to trick you. They're trying to be like, I made this art. Oh, it's AI. You didn't
Right.
notice. Ha ha ha. You didn't notice. AI is this, has the same merit as traditional art. What I would just like to see is, and I think it would kind of put the whole thing to rest, and a lot of those people would just fuck off, is if AI art was treated the same way that streaming music is treated. So there's a royalty if your art is being used in Midjourney or whatever AI program that these dorks like to go into and pretend to be artists. If yours is being used, if your stuff has been fed into that AI, then you receive a small royalty every time an image is kicked out. So you can, anytime an image is generated, there's a small royalty that just like the same every time a song is streamed, a tiny little portion of money. So you have to the AI programs, you have to have a subscription to them, and a portion, and there's ads on it, and a portion of the subscription fee and a portion of the ads goes to the artists whose art has been uploaded into the program, and then you solve everything. So all of the in the style of Frank Frazetta, well, Frazetta's his estate gets a portion of the ad revenue that comes
Right.
from the AI program. I mean, that to me, that's a simple solution to the AI stuff. Like you're never going to tell people they can't do it. Although I do think it's at its peak popularity. I think that the what do you call it? The newness is going to wear off, and these people are going to get bored because they really are just typing prompts into a computer. There's nothing to it. It takes them no effort to create these images, so they're not going to keep doing it forever.
Well, I think it'll. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is I think it'll just be. It's going to become its own sort of thing more than something else. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't think like making AI just do like repeating the same things that we can do already is going to be the end of whatever it is, right? Whatever the technology that you could say is behind AI, right? Like the deep learning, like algorithms and this and that. Like that's what I'm saying. So I don't think it like making like pictures is what it's going to be for or what it's going to do, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like the art, like, because the art will just like people will just keep like using it and referencing it and it'll, it'll get to a point where it's like people are complaining about AI art with the hands, right? Oh, you can always tell it's always got 6 fingers, and then like, do you still see that like on AI stuff now? Like it's learning from us, but you know what I'm saying? Like people like pointing out the things where it's bad helps it to like refine like the actual images. So doesn't mean like I don't think I would think like storyboarding is pretty much dead, like beyond anything with
concept art and storyboarding is goodbye.
Yeah.
that's not
you better figure out how to like show that you know how to do storyboards because you did it before in the old days and now you can do it with the AI stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's
what's going to happen is we're quickly moving to being able to prompt video.
Right.
And once they can prompt video at the same quality that they're prompting pictures, they're going to quit doing pictures. That's what I'm saying. It's a novelty right now it's a very specific novelty that in just a couple of years is going to be boring to them because the technology is going to have changed so dramatically.
Right.
And
they're
going to be off
whatever it's doing now. Yeah.
They'll be off to the races making AI movies. And then you'll have the movie industry crying the way artists are crying right now. Like, well, you can't just make an AI movie. That's not fair.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying is that it making just goofy pictures is not what it's going to be. And the only way that happens is just the more people use it, the more it advances and leaves behind, the old versions of it or whatever. Yeah, this that's what I mean. It's like it's not like it's gonna go anywhere. It's just gonna keep getting more and more advanced, more things that it's gonna do or be able to do. Like, you can create your own movie and just you type it up, you take a picture of yourself, your kid takes a picture of themselves or whatever, and
or a picture of Tom Cruise or a picture of Janet Jackson. I mean, they can make their own Tom Cruise movie. Then it's going to be the same, the same argument about, well, the Tom Cruise's image is copyrighted and you can't take that from him. And it's going to be I sound like I'm an advocate. I'm not an advocate for it. I guess I'm not an advocate for it I'm not an advocate for it in the way that people should use it and become commercial artists with it. Any more than I think they should become commercial musicians with it or commercial filmmakers with it, which is where it's all headed. Because at the same time, all these dorks are doing AI comics or AI portraits or illustrations or whatever. There's also a whole subset of AI people that are making AI music, using like Lil Wayne and Kanye, using their voices.
Yeah, I did Frank Sinatra doing what song was that? Like Gangster's Paradise. I was I did Frank Sinatra Gangster's Paradise.
There you go.
But would I like pay money for that? No.
Some people want you to, and that's they want to be able to go to a music convention and sell that like they're like it's the shit, and that's kind of what the complaining about
these shirt or something. Maybe if there was some sort of like merchandise that went with it, like a little dancing robot toy or something that was Frank Sinatra doing the Gangster's Paradise or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't like see like paying for like goofy songs, or even regular songs. It's hard to think like, I don't know, like it's hard to think of for me to think of like buying a song now, like
that
record.
Imagine when the technology is to the point that they can make movies with AI, and then you're going to think the same thing. Like, well, why would I actually pay for a movie when it's so easy to make one myself? I'll just make a Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah,
it only takes Midjourney 30 minutes. I'll get some food started. I'll type in a bunch of crazy prompts. Tom Cruise is going to fight dinosaurs in his underwear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to get just right down to the meat of what I need and what I want to see.
And I'll cook my dinner, and when I get back, I'll have this movie.
It's going to be better than whatever they would have made at Disney,
Exactly.
So like, why? Like everyone, I can see just everyone just being like, "Wow." I just tell
and think about the ramifications of that, because the same thing's going to be true for video games. Like, okay, I want to play a video game, but I'm not going to play a video game somebody made and wants me to pay for. Those suck. I'm going to write my own video game with Midjourney real quick. It's only going to take 30 minutes. So I want it to be a platform jumper, and I want it to be in the style of Mega Man 10, and I want it to, I want it to have the Mario Brothers in it. And then, 30 minutes later, you've got a fucking video game waiting on you, fully fleshed out video game. Like the entertainment industry is in big trouble. Big trouble.
Yeah, I didn't even think about like, video games would be the next obvious thing, like, or just being able to do generate. Well, I was watching one thing and it was like generating 3D, it was generating 3D pictures of people. It was all the side characters were all all had like AIs in them that would just start responding differently, and they would just do more than just like a normal like a normal background character in like, say, like Grand Theft Auto or something.
Yeah,
it just has like a list of things that it does. Just has this little cycle, whatever. But Yeah, maybe. Uh-oh. Let me see what's going on. All right. We might have to take a short break to got some dinner. The delivery guy just came.
Oh, you got him out in the weather?
Yeah, they come out rain or shine, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna get off here and eat something too. I only planned on doing the line art. I'm sitting here color flatting now just because we're hanging out.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I definitely think I don't know, doing more just like hangout streams is what I gotta do. But I gotta do more reviews and stuff. But we can do the reviews. Well, you were able to what? You download them from the live stream. Is that what it is? And then re-upload it, or?
Yeah, I can do that. I'm running this one right from YouTube.
Oh, okay. Huh. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wanted to like start doing some like drawing streams because like I'm just like behind on all this anyways, and drawing streams are good too. I like to be able to like sit and draw and just like talk.
For sure. Kind of all goes together. The review streams, the draw streams, the fucking crowdfunder streams, it's all the same. All falls under the same banner in my mind. It's all comics love. What do you think of that? What do you think of that bong bat, buddy?
It does look pretty.
Yeah, we can call it here. I don't want to kill myself working on this whole poster today.
Right.
Take a break, eat some dinner.
Well, I might try and get mine going later. My own like little. And that's what it was I used to do. I would do the video through the phone, and then I would have the computer going too, but I would just have it like not on the screen. So it would be like I'd have to like mute and like stop the camera of the one on there, and then I would just have that present thing. Because that's the thing too, is I like having that to be able to just like go over and like look up anything. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was looking at those fucking, that truck is just.
Who wants to draw a truck?
I don't want to draw a truck, man. I'll just use this fucking thing.
There's a. Do you know who Lavender? Do you know who Lavender Town is? She's a huge she's an ASM, basically an ASMR YouTuber, but she's an artist. Okay. And she does a webcomic called Unfamiliar. I'll go grab it real quick. I bought the paperback when it came out. 1 second.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna grab my bowl of chow here.
Yeah, if you want to eat, we can get off here. I was just gonna. We somehow spiraled into another conversation. Are you back?
Yeah, there we go.
We'll jump off here in just a second, but I wanted to, because you brought up the tracing, Lavender Town. Her actual name's Haley Newsom, and she does this. And she's very much like a girl. She has a big girl audience.
She's got like a YouTube channel where she talks about.
It's called Lavender Town.
Okay, I think I am like.
And she recommends, because what she does is she has the Sims, and you can go in and build your Sims kitchen or whatever, and then she takes a screenshot of it and she traces her customized Sims kitchen. And so a shot like this from the book, instead of actually drawing that, she most likely that's just a Sims kitchen that she traced and then put her characters into. So the whole idea that, you know, the spurgs on the internet that really want to go crazy over that stuff, they really don't know what they're talking about. Because really, you know, and she's got a really cutesy, cartoony style, so she doesn't need trucks like in ISOM. Here's another background page where she's got a bed and a trunk and some shelves.
She's tracing off of her Sims game. That's what you're saying.
It could be. Some of them look more like, it looks like she might have done all this by hand. This is a little more crude than that other one was. But if it's like a gnarly background that she doesn't want to, you know, really have to work hard on, she'll just trace a Sims background. Like here's one that's obviously hand drawn.
Well,
This here.
You know, I'll give away one of my own secrets here. Lay to rest any fusion. This, oh shit, that building at the bottom there,
yeah,
is just I didn't draw that. I just grabbed a old-timey looking image that was free to use for like stuff or whatever.
Well, we're gonna have to throw you
Yeah,
throw you out of the next convention you sign up for. No, but there's obviously we're being purposefully obtuse, but and I think that in the case of ISOM, it's even not that big of a deal. But for like the cat lady, for the cat lady to trace an actual figure, that's one thing. That's a gratuitous trace. But when you don't want to draw a truck and you go grab a fucking, well, there's another guy that I like a lot named Jason Brubaker. One second, I'm going to grab one of his books.
You know, I think to me the thing is that if you're honest about it, or if you hide it, then it's wrong, right? If you're like, if you're tracing,
and Eric came out and said he didn't know that guy was tracing stuff, and he said he wasn't going to fire him, but he was going to tell him not to
do that no more, dude.
Assets as much as he had before. So this is Sithra from a dude named Jason Brubaker. I like his stuff a lot. He's a conservative comic book artist, but he in his books he'll actually pay a guy to draw 3D images like of this tractor thing. If you can see this thing, it's got all kinds of wires and tubes and stuff going to it. He'll pay a guy to do a 3D render of this, and then he can turn it and shrink it and move it all around in his comic and not have to worry about trying to lay that thing out every single time he wants it in a panel. I'm trying to find another. Here's an above shot of it.
Oh man, yeah. Fire.
So instead of trying to go to all the trouble of drawing all that, he gets a 3D. He pays a guy, so it's his asset. It's not like, because the one of the criticisms.
I think that's still against the law, is what it is.
Right, against the internet spurg law. But what I made you big for some reason. I don't know why I made you big. I think the reason that people were upset. Well, one of the reasons people are upset about ISOM is they just don't like Eric July. But the fact that those are free to use SketchUp assets, that's the cheesy part. Like, he's not paying for unique digital assets that he's tracing. He's just using generic free ones from SketchUp. And it's like Jason here, he actually pays for his vehicles, and so they're unique to his work. Like, you're never gonna see another one of those things, whether he traces it or not. Right. Another criticism about the ISOM thing is it doesn't look like there was very much tracing involved. There was a coloring over the 3D asset.
Yeah, it was just dropping it from one to the other
and then
That's
putting
what
a color.
I'm saying. It wasn't tracing. It wasn't like adding in like volume
His
or
own,
like
his own style to it, because you could see there from both Haley and Jason that while they might have been tracing something, they were actually tracing it.
yeah.
Like that kitchen, that kitchen from Unfamiliar, it might have been a Sims kitchen originally, but she did trace it in her own style.
With the same thing with the Pink Cat lady, right? With her and the Tank Girl stuff. You know, you could tell like she's either tracing or like closely referencing it, but it's in like her own goofy looking style.
In her goofy style,
but
for sure. The problem with her, I think, is that she's doing well-known figures like Tank Girl poses. That's a silly thing to trace.
Well, she claimed that she actually was Tank Girl too, because she was a refugee from Iran. Right. So she was gives her.
So she deserved it. Right. She deserved to be able to trace it. It's whatever, man. It takes all kinds to do this crazy fucking art thing, and I don't really begrudge anybody because it's hard and it doesn't pay very much money. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of time. Pretty much have to do it by yourself.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't. As if somebody uses whatever they straight up copy something or a reference or this, like I don't care as long as they're like honest about it.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm saying. Like if they were like, no, it's screw it was me, like then, or if they're like, no, there's no 3D assets, then it's like, well, here they are, and then they're like, okay, well, yeah, there are, like, and that's with Eric. That was his problem.
Well, his only defense was ignorance. Like, I didn't know. He denied it, but maybe he should have asked before he denied it.
That's what I'm saying. It's like he's just so like, no, that's ridiculous. And then it's like, well, actually.
Yeah, there was no denying it once they started digging into it and finding the SketchUp stuff. It's pretty funny. I watched, I saw that thread. I was like, Eric, buddy. You just keep digging yourself deeper. Now, I do think that Eric is going to blast past all this. I think that you're going to start seeing the Rippaverse comics are going to start coming out so fast and furiously. There's going to be so many of them that eventually all these like early criticisms are just there's going to be way more content than there are critics eventually. And I think you're going to see a lot of that stuff fade away. But you're making me hungry, buddy. I'm going to get off here.
Yeah, it is. That's what I'm saying. It's like I couldn't just leave it sitting over there. There's like noodles and shit. Like,
All right, buddy. I'm gonna jump off here. If you want to do one later on your channel, let me know.
All right.
Everybody, go down to the comments or the description below. You can buy all the Strangeville comics digitally from Gumroad. You can. We got a Harry Stark here, a super strange head. Hey guys, 32,000 views. Congrats. That's on the Strangeville Comics Archive. Just passed 32,000, on its way to 33,000. I think we're at like 32,700 views on that now. Thank you, sir. Your DVD should be in the mail today or tomorrow or the next day. We're actually getting ready to jump off here, though, Harry. You have to look for the Dr. Ben link in a little bit. Yeah. We're gonna eat dinner right now, so we'll jump on later on Dr. Ben's channel, and then he'll be able to play with all his controls. I'm a very lo-fi streamer. I just stream my comics, and that's it. Dr. Ben knows all the fun stuff.
That's right.
We should probably make like a channel where we're gonna stream together, and then you can be the host of it, so you can put all the
fancy stuff,
all the finagling, the fanciness. But yeah, I'm gonna eat dinner, so we'll see you guys later.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.